Theme of our lecture: peculiarities of nutrition of people of different age groups and professions. Nutrition plays a major role throughout a person's lifetime. The choices made during each phase of life can set the stage for the following phases in the life cycle. Having a long and healthy life should be the goal for everyone, but it requires making the right choices along the way. Differing amounts of energy and nutrients are required at different life stages. It is important to maintain a healthy weight throughout life by eating a healthy diet and taking regular physical activity. Key stages in life include pregnancy, infancy, childhood, adolescence, adulthood. Energy and nutrient requirements change through life and depend on many factors such as age, sex, body size, level of activity. Pregnancy. A healthy diet is an important part of a healthy lifestyle at any time, but is especially vital for you are pregnant or planning a pregnancy. Eating healthily during pregnancy will help your baby to develop and grow. You do not need to go on a special diets, but it's important to eat a variety of different foods every day to get the right balance of nutrients that you and your babies need. It's best to get vitamins and minerals from the food you eat, but when you are pregnant, you need to take a folic acid supplements as well to make sure you get everything you need. A varied diet providing adequate amount of energy and nutrients is essential both before a woman becomes pregnant and during pregnancy. The mother's diet can influence the health of the baby. Having a healthy body weight is important. Being underweight can make it more difficult to become pregnant and make it more likely for the baby to have a low birth weight, leading to a greater risk of ill health. Nutrition during pregnancy focuses on a balanced diet rich in key nutrients like folate, iron, calcium, protein, iodine, and vitamin D from diverse food groups like fruits, veggies, whole grains, lean proteins to support both mothers and baby's development, plus essential hydrations and supplements like folic acids, while avoiding alcohol, high mercury fish, and limiting caffeine to ensure a healthy pregnancy. Protein is critical to proper development of fetal tissue, especially the brain. Uterine tissue, breast tissue, as well as increased blood supply for mothers and baby also require high amounts of protein. Good sources of protein include lean beef and pork, chicken, peanut butter, salmon, beans, and nuts. Daily recommendation: 3 servings. Calcium is important in the development of the baby's bones and regulates the mother's use of fluids. Calcium-rich food include milk, yogurt, cheese, cabbage, and eggs. Daily recommendation: 3 servings. Folate help with the development of the baby's neural tubes from which the baby's spine and brain forms. It's known to prevent neural tube defects, specifically spina bifida and anencephaly. Sources of folate include liver, nuts, eggs, peanut butter, asparagus, broccoli, dark green leaf vegetables. Daily recommendation from 600 to 800 micrograms. What about iron? With the help of sodium, potassium and water, iron is critical to producing the increased blood flow that improves oxygen supply for mother and baby. Sources of iron include dark leaf green vegetables, citrus fruits, lean beef and poultry, eggs, dried fruits. Daily recommendation 27 milligrams. Water plays an important role in the development of the placenta and amniotic sac. The effects of dehydration while pregnant can result in many problems, including neural tube defects, low amniotic fluid, inadequate breast milk production, and can cause premature labor. Why you should drink more water during pregnancy? First of all, water regulates body temperature. Water carries nutrients to your baby. Drinking water relieves constipation. Water assays nausea, and water helps prevent UTIs. During pregnancy, very important, eat a variety of food to get all the nutrients you need. Aim for 6 to 11 servings of breads and grains, from 2 to 4 servings of fruits, 4 or more servings of vegetables, 4 servings of dairy products, and 3 servings of protein sources like meat, poultry, fish, eggs, or nuts daily. Easy up of the fats and sweets. On the slide you can see meals patterns for pregnant women. Half of the eating plates must be vegetables, which rich in unsaturated fats. 1/4 part of this plate should be protein sources, and 1/4 part starchy or whole grain carbohydrates. During pregnancy, some extra nutrients are needed, mainly in the last 3 months, to help the development of the uterus, placenta, and other tissues, meet the needs of the growing fetus, lay down stores of nutrients and energy as fat for the growth of the fetus, and in the mothers for lactation. Folic acid is the synthetic form of the B vitamins, folate. It is needed for rapid cell divisions and growth in the fetus that take place during pregnancy. Folate has been shown to reduce the chance of neural tube defect, such as spina bifida, in the unborn babies. Foods that are good sources of folate include green leaf vegetables, oranges, bananas, bread, and fortified breakfast cereals. During the first 6 months of pregnancy, most women do not need to eat more than normal. The body becomes more efficient at absorbing and using nutrients from food. The estimated average requirements increases during the last 3 months of pregnancy by an average of 800 kilojoules per day. On average, if a woman eats to satisfy her appetite, her weight will usually increase by about 3.5 kg in the first 20 weeks, then 0.5 kg a week until the end of pregnancy. The total weight gain will be about from 10 to 14 kg over the full terms. Gaining too much weight can raise the mother's blood pressure and increase her risk of being overweight or having diabetes. Which food should be avoided during pregnancy? Too much vitamin A during early pregnancy has been linked to birth defect. Vitamin A-rich food include liver and liver products such as paid vitamin A supplements and fish liver oils. Unpasteurized cheese and cheese with a soft ring such as brie or camembert may be contaminated by listeria, which can cause a miscarriage or infect the babies, so should not be consumed. Shark, shoved fish and marlin. This type of fish may contain high levels of mercury, which can harm an unborn baby's developing nervous system. Pregnant women and those who are trying to conceive are advised to stop drinking alcohol. Alcohol may damage the unborn child. To lower the risk of getting a food-borne illnesses, pregnant women should avoid the following: ready meals that are undercooked, particularly if they contain poultry, or are not preheated before consumption, like quiches and cold meat pieces. Unwashed fruits and vegetables, raw or particular cooked eggs and products containing raw eggs, for example, homemade mayonnaise, raw or undercooked meat, particular poultry and minced meat, including curried meat such as parma ham and salami. Contact of raw meat with products that are consumed raw, unpasteurized milk and milk products, particular goat's milk. Nutrition from childhood through adolescence. Children need the right food at the right time to grow and develop to their full potential. In the first 2 years of life, breastfeeding saves lives, shields children from disease, boosts brain development, and guarantees children a safe and nutritious food sources. UNICEF and the World Health Organization recommended that infants begin breastfeeding within 1 hour to birth, be exclusively breastfeed for the first 6 months, and continue breastfeeding until 2 years of age or beyond. After 4 to 6 months of age, milk no longer fulfills all the baby's needs for energy and nutrients. The babies must be given other foods in addition to breast milk or infant formula. This process is called weaning. Weaning before this age is not recommended, as the intestines and kidneys may not be able to process the food. Solids must be semi-fluid and soft, since the baby has no teeth and cannot chew. Infants under 6 months should not be given wheat or other cereals that contain the protein gluten to avoid a possible allergic reaction to gluten called celiac disease. Raw eggs and foods that contain raw or particular cooked eggs due to the risk of food poisoning from salmonella. Eggs should be cooked until both the white and yolk are solid. Foods with added salt because their developing kidneys are unable to handle the salt, and only risk of botulism poisoning, deep sea fish such as shark, marlin, and shellfish fish potential at high mercury levels and whole nuts, risk of choking. Sugar-containing foods and drinks like biscuits, some rusk, fruit juices between meals should be limited. Supplements of vitamins A, C, and D in the form of drops are recommended for children's ages from 6 months to 5 years. This is particularly important if they do not eat a varied food diets. Cow's milk is not suitable as a drink before 12 months of age because it is low in iron but can be used in small amounts in cooking from 6 months. Low-fat varieties of milk as a main drink are not suitable for babies and young children until at least 2 years of age. Supplements of vitamin A, C, and D in the form of drops are recommended for children ages from 6 months to 5 years. This is particularly important if they do not eat a varied diet. Semi-skimmed milk as a main drink can be gradually introduced when the child reaches 2 years if they are having a healthy varied diet. But 1% of skimmed milk should not be given as a main drink until the children reaches 5 years. Young children should not be given whole nuts, risk of choking, and deep sea fish such as shark, marlin, and swordfish, potential for high mercury levels. Childhood. Childhood is an important time for growth and development. Children need a good supply of proteins and other nutrients, including calcium, iron, and vitamin A and D. Children begin to take responsibility for their own food choices around this time. It is therefore important to encourage them to eat a healthy, varied diet which is rich in fruits, vegetables, and starchy food. Children should be encouraged to remain a healthy weight with respect to their height. A healthy family lifestyle can help to maintain a healthy weight, such as being active together or sharing meals. Children have a high energy requirements for their body size compared to adults because they are growing rapidly and are often very active. A nutrient-dense diet providing adequate energy and nutrients, which include healthy snacks, is essential for growth and development. It is also important for children to have sufficient to drink. Young children also have small stomachs, so they need to eat small and frequent meals. Children should be encouraged to eat a variety of food from each the Eat Well plate for main food groups: fruits and vegetables, bread, rice, potatoes, pasta and other starchy foods, milk and dairy foods, meat, fish, eggs, beans, and other non-dairy sources of protein. And here you can see percentage of each of these group for children. 33% in daily foods must have fruits and vegetables. 33% must have bread, rice, and pasta. 12% need meat, fish, and eggs. 15% milk and butter, and 7% oil, salt, and sugar. The increase in energy needs with age reflects increases in the energy needs by basal metabolism, increased activity, and increased growth of the muscle and adipose tissue. Many water-soluble vitamins are involved in energy metabolism, including thiamine B1, riboflavin B2, niacin B3. Pyridoxine, vitamin B6, is required in great amount during period of rapid tissue growth. The increase in muscle mass during growth requires that a positive nitrogen balance be maintained. This is usually ensured by daily consumption of 1.5 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. Nutrients involved in blood formation are also important during growth because the vascular system must grow to bring blood to all new cells. This increase in the vascular system demands adequate supplies of iron, protein, folate, and pyridoxine. Bone growth creates a need for calcium, phosphorus, fluoride, and vitamin D. The body's needs for vitamin A and C is also believed to increase during growth because of the involvement of vitamin A in bone growth and maintaining epithelial cells and the involvement of vitamin C in the synthesis of collagen. Here you can see main nutrients needed for energy metabolism. Here is vitamin B1, B2, B3 and B5. Nutrients needed for muscle growth and protein, vitamin B6, potassium, vitamin B9 or folate, vitamin B12 and zinc. Nutrients needed for blood formation, protein, iron, vitamin B6, B9, B12, vitamin C and copper. Nutrients needed for bone formation, calcium, phosphorus, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin C, protein and manganese. Thiamine and vitamin B12 have been promoted as stimulants to appetite and growth in children. Also, both are essential nutrients in childhood. These nutrients are of value only in growth, and appetite are expressed because of a deficiency of them. Snacks can make a major contribution to the energy and nutrients supplied by the diet during childhood and adolescence. Nutritional related problems in this period. The most common nutritional related problems during childhood are growth retardation, anemia, obesity, and dental caries. Growth problem can be caused by a number of factors, including genetics, hormonal disorders, systemic illnesses, and poor absorption of food. Nutritional growth retardation is most prevalent in population at risk of poverty. Nutritional growth retardation patients may cause to gain appropriate weight and fail to grow in height even without exhibiting body weight deficit for height. They adapt to decreased nutrient intake by decreasing growth progressions and thereby achieve equilibrium by decreasing the nutrients demands. Anemia, primarily caused by a lack of dietary iron, is most commonly found in children from the lower social economic groups. The lack of dietary iron can result from parents' lack of knowledge about dietary sources of iron and the importance of iron in good nutrition, or from the difficulty of providing adequate dietary iron even in favorable circumstances. In some children, infestation with intestinal parasites can worsen the problems. A few instances of anemia have been recorded as resulting from the use of cow's milk, which is low in iron, and the exclusion of a wide variety of food after the first year of life. Children with anemia are usually lethargic, easily tired, and highly susceptible to infections, and they may exhibit mental and motor impairments. Childhood anemia is usually treated by giving iron salts that provide from 30 to 100 milligrams of iron per day, often in conjunctions with vitamin C, to enhance its absorption until hemoglobin levels return to normal. The child should then adopt a diet that is high in iron, containing foods such as meat, green leaf vegetables, and iron fortified cereals. Here you can see main sources of iron in food. Childhood obesity. Childhood obesity, also known as juvenile onset obesity, is currently on the rise, is extremely difficult to correct, and often persists into adulthood. The prevalence of obesity in children is increasing. Many parents unwittingly contribute to the development of childhood obesity by introducing solid food before 4 to 6 months of age, by equating weight gain with good health, or by using food as a reward of good behaviors. Any tendency toward obesity is worsened by inactivity. Too many pale and flabby children spend their summer in the air-conditioned houses, immobilized in front of the television and drinking beverages of low nutrient density. Encouraging exercise is one of the most effective ways to help children stay within an acceptable weight range. Encouraging obese children to adopt an activity pattern of regular exercise and an eating patterns that allow them to grow into their weight provides more successful than trying to achieve any actual weight loss. Dental health. Dental hygiene is very important. Children should pay attention to dental hygiene and ways to prevent dental caries. Teeth should be brushed twice a day with a fluoride containing toothpaste. Sugar containing foods and drinks should be limited to meal time. No, and here you can see my recommendation for promotes good oral health. Brushing teeth twice a day, limiting the amount of sugar we eat and drink, and going to the dentist for regular check-up. A child's diet influences dental health by affecting both tooth formation and the oral environment to which teeth are subjected. Vitamin A is required for the formation of tooth enamel. Vitamin C is required to form the dental layers. Calcium, phosphorus, and vitamin D are necessary for the calcification of teeth. The availability of fluoride during calcification also greatly decreased the susceptibility of teeth to decay. Once a tooth has erupted, the major dietary factor influencing decay is the presence of fermentable carbohydrates able to adhere to the tooth surface. The stickier and the carbohydrates in the diet, and the longer a tooth is exposed to sugar, the greater is the risk of carriers, as microorganisms normally present in the mouth ferments carbohydrate to form acids. Here you can see scheme how sugar can cause tooth decay. The presence of fluoride in the mouth, provided mainly by water, is a major dietary factor able to protect against tooth decay. The susceptibility to tooth decay is also influenced by genetic factors, but few children are endowed with either carrier-resistant teeth or teeth that cannot be protected from decay by a suitable diet and appropriate use of fluoride. Now, this table summarizes all previous material about nutrients, food sources of these nutrients, and what is done. Now, for example, iron, necessary for making healthy red blood cells present in cereals, dried beans, peas, lentils, eggs. Calcium helps build strong teeth and bones and help muscles work. We have calcium in the milk and cheese. Vitamin A necessary for healthy eyes, skin and bones. Vitamin A sources are carrots, milk or fortified cheese and eggs. Vitamin C necessary for healthy gums, tissue, bones and teeth. Help the body use iron to make healthy red blood cells and help fight infections. Sources of the vitamin C are citrus, fruit juices, joist fortified with vitamin C. Vitamin D necessary for strong bones and teeth are in the milk and eggs. Folate assists in making healthy red blood cells present in the orange juice, eggs, cereals, lentils, dried beans, peas. Protein necessary for growth, upkeep and repair of body cells. Main sources of protein are milk, cheese, eggs, dried beans, peas, lentils, peanut butter, tuna. Zinc, like minerals needed for cells growth and repair. Zinc presence in dried beans, peas, lentils, eggs, milk, cheese and cereals. Vitamin B6 needed for normal growth are in the eggs and tuna. Nutrition in the adolescence. Adolescence is a period of rapid growth and development and is when puberty occurs. The demand for energy and most nutrients are relatively high. Boys need more protein and energy than girls for growth. Girls need more iron than boys to replace menstrual losses. It is important to encourage an active lifestyle with a healthy, balanced diet during this time. This is because good habits practiced now are likely to benefit their health for the rest of their lives. A growth spurt begins from 10 years of age in girls and 12 years in boys. In both sexes, an average of 23 centimeters is added to height and 20 to 26 kg in weight. Before adolescence, both girls and boys have an average of 18% body fat. During adolescence, this increased to around 28% in girls and decreased to around 15% in boys. Teenage girls and women require 14.8 milligrams of iron each daily. Teenage boys need 11.3 milligrams of iron daily, and this reduced to 8.7 milligrams for men aged 19 or over. Iron from meat sources is readily absorbed by the human's body. Vitamin C helps to absorb iron from non-meat sources such as green leaf vegetables, nuts, pulses, dried fruits, wheat flour and breakfast cereals. Nutrition in the adulthood. Nutritional requirements do not change much between the ages from 19 to 50 except during pregnancy and lactation. On average, adults are eating too much saturated fats and salt from food and not enough fruits and vegetables. A poor diet can lead to diseases such as obesity, cardiovascular diseases, cancer, and diabetes. To reduce the risk of developing these diseases, it is important to eat a balanced diet, with plenty of fluid and vegetables, opt for healthy fats, get enough dietary fiber, keep well hydrated, stay active, drink alcohol in moderation, and not smoke. Adults should aim for a healthy body weight for their height and try to keep it at that level. The body mass index (BMI) is an indicator for where a person is underweight or overweight or a healthy weight. To calculate BMI, divided weight in kg to height in meter square. Recommended body mass range. Normal is from 18.5 less than 25. Underweight less than 18.5. Overweight between 25 and less than 30. Obese 30 to 40 and very obese over 40. Waist circumference measurements is also an indicator to whether a person has a healthy body weight. Abdominal or visceral fat, for example fat carried around the waist, is known to be a greater risk to health than weight carried on the other part of the body. Waist measurements should be below 80 centimeters for all women, 94 centimeters for men, black and white, and 90 centimeters for Asian men. Nutrition in the later years. Requirements for energy gradually decrease after the age of 50 as activity level falls. Older adults is the term usually referring to people over the age of 65. Older people may eat less for different reasons, for example, difficulty in chewing and swallowing, dental problems, changes in sense of smell and taste, difficulty in shopping, preparing and cooking food, living alone, financial problems, or different illness. To maintain good health, it is important that older adults enjoy their food, keep active, have adequate nutrients intake. Older adults should adopt a healthy, balanced diet to maintain health. It is also important they keep hydrated by drinking plenty of fluids. Even minor dehydration may lead to the health problems. After menopause, women lose bone strength at increased rate. Having a great peak bone mass is early adulthood helps adult to start from a higher point from which bones will be lost during the aging processes. Older adults should have plenty of calcium intake from the diet, but also remain active and have adequate vitamin D from foods or through the action of sunlight on the skin. Adults over 65 years who are housebound should be take a daily supplement of vitamin D, as skin synthesis of vitamin requires sunshine. Nutritional and aging. The study of nutrition and aging is complicated by the fact that people's nutritional needs grow more complex as they age for both physiological and social reasons. Different elderly people have different and long histories, including many variables that can affect their nutritional needs. They have had different illnesses, been exposed to different physical and emotional traumas, and followed different diets. The differing effects of these historical factors are superimposed on the normal genetic variation among different people. Wide variations in the ability to elderly people to digest, absorb, and use specific nutrients also complicate attempts to generalize about their nutritional needs. Nutritional needs for elderly people are next. Energy. Aging is accompanied by a decrease in energy needs because of decreasing activity and a steady decline in metabolic rate. The FAO, or World Health Organization, recommends a decrease in energy intake of 5% per decade between the age of 39 and 59, then 10% from 60 to 69, and in further from 10% for people older than 70. Protein. The total amount of protein synthesized each day declines only slightly with age. The FDA suggests that a total protein intake of 0.8 gram per kg of body weight per day should be maintained throughout adulthood. Minerals. Most concern about the mineral supply in the diets of elderly persons is focused on calcium and zinc. This is particularly likely in women because of their susceptibility to osteoporosis. Many elderly patients are reported to have marginal zinc storage. Supplements to improve zinc status should be used with caution, however, because excessive zinc intake can cause gastrointestinal irritation, copper deficiency, anemia, hypercholesterolemia, and impaired immune function. The available information suggests the current RDAs for elderly persons for vitamin D, riboflavin, vitamin B6, and vitamin B12 are too low. On the other hand, the RDA for vitamins A appears to be too high. The present RDAs for thiamine, vitamin C, and folate are believed to be about right. What about other nutrients? Elderly persons are vulnerable to both dehydration and fluid retention because of the consumption of too little or too much water, respectively. 1 milliliter of water per kilocalorie consumed should be adequate. The readily observable symptoms of dehydration are dry lips and skin, decreased excretion of urine, confusions, and raises body temperature. Here you can see modified my pyramids for older adults. Leading researchers have adapted the new food pyramids to the needs of older adults. The revised pyramid emphasizes exercise, getting enough fluids, taking vitamins, and eating frozen or canned fruits and vegetables along with fresh. Food to choose. Grain foods. Aim to make half of your grain savings derived from whole grain sources. Examples include breads and cereals made with whole grain flour, whole wheat pasta, brown rice. Many cereals are fortified with extra nutrients. Check to make sure that your cereals contain folic acid, also called folate. Fruits and vegetables. Bright colored vegetables such as carrots, tomatoes, broccoli, and greens. Deep colored fruits such as bananas, peaches, berries, oranges, kiwis, and papayas. Avoid juices. Fruits and vegetables can be cooked, chopped, or grated to make them more palatable to someone with dental or digestion difficulties. Dairy foods. Low-fat milk, yogurt, and cottage cheese. Low-fat cheeses. Lactose-free milk and active culture yogurt may be tolerated by people who cannot eat regular dairy products. Protein foods like lean meats, poultry and fish, eggs, legumes such as beans, peas, seeds, and nuts. Fats, oils, and sweets. Choose hot, healthy vegetable oils such as olive oil and canola oil, which contain unsaturated fats which may lower blood cholesterol. Avoid saturated fats like butter and animal fats, and do not eat trans fats, which has strong associations with the development of cardiovascular disease. Osteoporosis. One important factor involved in the decline of the bone's mass is the decreased synthesis of vitamin D in the skin of elderly people. This decrease is a result of both reduced efficiency of vitamin D synthesis and decreased exposure to sunlight. Vitamin D intake also usually declines with age, making this vitamin a key target for efforts to slow the decline in bone mass with age. Here you can see how change spine columns and bones with different age. Giving elderly persons vitamin D supplements has been shown to have a significant beneficial effects on bone mineral status. Calcium supplementation is also found to produce clear benefits in people whose calcium intake would otherwise be less than 400 mg per day. Postmenopausal women are at the greatest risk of osteoporosis. It also affects a smaller proportions of men. Best foods for stronger bones are spinach, broccoli, almond, bok choy. Also, sesame seeds, mustard greens, flax seeds, and kale. Cardiovascular disease is one of the major causes of death and illness in elderly persons. The risk of cardiovascular disease has been clearly shown to be influenced by nutritional factors, particularly the consumption of dietary fat. Some degree of atherosclerosis is an inevitable consequences of aging, but the extent to which an aging person is at risk of cardiovascular disease is strongly influenced by his or her lifelong dietary history, compromised on genetic factors. Here you can see good nutritional reduce the risk of heart disease. Eating a nutrition well-balanced diet is one of the simplest, most effective ways to reduce your risk of heart disease by lowering your cholesterol and blood pressure and helping you to lose weight. Use these tips to get started. And here you can see main recommendation how to improve diet in elder peoples. Anemia is another common problem of aging associated with the vascular system. Cross-sectional studies of the population show that the incidence of anemia increases with age in both males and females. When specific individuals are studied longitudinally, however, their hemoglobin levels do not fall significantly in the absence of disease. This suggests that anemia in aging usually accompanies other disease. It can be treated with iron supplements and prevented by a diet rich in available iron and vitamin C, which enhance iron absorption. Because megaloblastic anemia caused by folate deficiency often occur alongside iron deficiency anemia, particular attention to dietary folate adequacy may also be required. Home remedies for anemia. Which food you should take to prevent anemia? The brain is sensitive to changes in nutrient intake, and the brain also plays a major role in determining what foods are eaten and in what amounts. The brain requires a continual supply of glucose in the appropriate amounts. Either too much glucose in the blood, hyperglycemia, and too little hypoglycemia can quickly cause the brain to slip into coma. Recent studies have found that aging is associated with declining levels of vitamin B6, vitamin B12, and folate. It seems possible that some of the impairments of brain function, including memory loss, and reduced cognitive ability, may be caused by mild deficiency of these and other vitamins. Healthy elderly people with low blood levels of a variety of vitamins achieved lower scores in memory and nonverbal abstract thinking tests than do those with higher vitamin levels. Which food you should eat for healthy brain? Failing visions. The impairment of vision that can accompany aging is often the greatest single factor reducing an elderly person's quality of life. A significant body of evidence now suggested that the ones of cataract can be prevented or at least delayed by appropriate nutritional and behavioral modification. Vitamin C, vitamin E, and B carotene have all been shown to provide some protection aging cataract formation, presumably from the ability to prevent oxidative damage. The most significant behavioral changes that can reduce the risk of cataracts are the avoidance of smoking or other people smoke and avoidance of excessively bright light. Here you can see healthy food for eyes. Declining immunity. The mass of immune tissue declines throughout life, leading to a steady decline in immune function. This decline is almost certainly related to the increase in susceptibility to infection and some cancers that accompany aging. The immune system is known to require a wide variety of nutrients and to be sensitive to changes in both macronutrients and micronutrient status. Therefore, adequate nutrition and appropriate nutritional intervention can play a big part of maintaining a person's immune defenses at the maximum possible level. This role of good nutrition in immune function applies to people of all ages, but it especially important for aged persons when some decline in immune function is inevitable. There are certain foods that are known immune system boosters. That means they help your body fight disease. The following are 12 different foods that are known immune boosters. Try any or all of them and start reaping the benefits these nutritional powerhouses offer your body. Berries, fish oil, leaf greens, nuts and seeds, spices, citrus fruits, poultry, bright colored vegetables, yogurt and olive oils. The list of the food which to boost your immune system. Obesity. Many people put on weight as they age for many different reasons, including declining metabolic rate, reduced level of exercise, and increased wealth, and the concomitant opportunity to consume rich foods. As part of this trend, obesity becomes a problem for significant numbers of people as they age. Obesity, especially central obesity, male type or waist predominance obesity, is an important risk factor for the metabolic syndrome, the clustering of a number of diseases and risk factors that heavily predispose for cardiovascular disease. Here you can see main complication of obese. Here is stroke and heart disease, diabetes, pancreatitis, arthritis, gout, cancer, gallstones, liver diseases, lung disease, sleep apnea. Tips to prevent obesity. Eat a balanced diet. Watch portion size. Drink plenty of water. Limit sugary drinks. Stay active. Get enough sleep. Weight loss. Also, many aging people become overweight or obese. Many encountered the opposite problem of unintentional and undesirable weight loss. This may be a result of physiological factors, a generalized deterioration in physical condition, or the presence of some disease. The lost weight generally include both lean body tissue and body fats. Here you can see main age groups, key nutritional focus, and why. In age of infant and children, key nutritional focus are next: high protein, high calcium, and healthy fats. Why? Because they support rapid bone growth and brain development. In adolescence period, very important: iron, calcium, and increased calories. Why? Because fuels puberty-related growth spurts and hormonal changes. In adult period from 20 to 60, very important: balance macronutrients and fiber, because their focus shifts to weight maintenance and preventing chronic disease. For seniors above 60 age, very important: vitamin B12, vitamin D, and proteins, because offsets reduce absorption and prevents muscle loss. Nutrition by professions. The energy cost of your job determines how you should fuel your body. For physical labor like construction, farming, athletics, very important: high caloric intakes, These roles required a significant amount of energy to sustain physical output. Very important complex carbohydrates needed to sustain energy: oats, brown rice, whole grains, and very important electrolytes, crucial for those working in heat or performed intense labor to prevent dehydration. Proper nutrition for physical labor focuses on sustained energy, muscle maintenance, and hydration to prevent fatigue and injury. First, macronutrients balance. Carbohydrates, energy. Those should be the primary fuel sources, ideally 60% of total intakes. Prioritize complex carbohydrates like oats, brown rice, whole wheat pasta, and fruits for sustained energy release raises and the sugar spikes. Protein, muscle repair, essential for maintaining muscle tissue under heavy load. Workers should aim the roundly 1.4 to 1.6 gram per kg of body weight daily. Leans, meats, fish, beans, and eggs are recommended sources. What about fats? Fats are long-term fuels. Healthy fats from nuts, seeds, and avocados provide dense energy for long shifts. Strategic meals timing. Pre-shift. Fuel up 2 hours before work with healthy carbs, for example, oatmeal with fruits or whole grain toast, to establish a baseline energy reserves. During shift, eat small nutrient-dense snacks regularly to avoid energy crashes. Portable options like proteins bars, nuts, apples, or roasted chickpeas are effective for busy job sites. And post shift, a balanced meal with high protein and complex carbs is vital for recovery and preventing overeating later in the evening. Number 3. Hydration and electrolytes. Water. Drink consistently throughout the day rather than waiting until thirsty. Electrolytes, if working in heat for more than 2 hours, replaced water with an electrolyte-rich beverage to replenish minerals lost through sweets. And minerals focus on magnesium found in leaf greens and seeds for muscle function and potassium found in bananas for fluid balance. Sedentary or office work, IT, administration, writings. For these groups, very important, lower calorie density, since energy expenditure is low, high caloric diet can quickly lead to weight gain. Brain food focus on omega-3 fatty acids, fish, walnuts to support cognitive function and concentration, and portional control. Emphasis on high fiber vegetables to provide satisfy without excess calorie. Balanced diet and calorie control. People with a sedentary lifestyle burn few calories, so it is crucial to consume lower calorie, nutrient dense food to avoid obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and some types of cancer. Prioritize whole foods. The diet foundation should be fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. This provides satiety, stable blood sugar levels, and essential vitamins. Optimize protein. Around 1.2 to 1.6 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight is recommended daily to maintain muscle mass, which naturally declines due to a low activity. Healthy fats include sources of omega-3 fatty acids such as avocado, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish like salmon to combat inflammation. Eating schedule and snacks. Regularity very important. Eat every 3-5 hours to maintain energy levels and control hunger. Healthy snacks instead of sweets or chips. Keep nuts, yogurt with berries, vegetable sticks with hummus, or boiled eggs at your desk. This combination of protein and fiber helps you feel full longer. And breakfast is essential. A balanced breakfast with protein and complex carbs, so for example oatmeal with fruits or eggs on toast, sets the tone for the day and prevent overeating later. That hydration and physical activity. Drink enough water throughout the day to prevent fatigue and headaches. Always keep a water bottle on your desk. And very important moments. Diet alone will not compensate for the harm of the prolonged sitting. Set reminder to stand up, stretch, or take a short walk every 30 minutes. Use your lunch break for walking. High stress or night shift roles in medicals, emergency services, and so on. Circadian rhythm support. Night shift workers often struggle with digestion. Smaller, frequent protein-rich meals are easy to process at night than heavy carb-rich meals. Magnesium and vitamin C. This help to body manage cortisol, the stress hormones during high pressure situation. Nutritional for high stress or night shift roles require strategic planning to manage circadian rhythm disruption, sustain energy, and reduce stress levels. The diet should prioritize whole foods and limit sugar and caffeine to avoid energy crashes and long-term health risks. Nutrition and physical fitness. In general, athletes need more energy and more water than non-athletic people, but only slightly increased amount of protein, minerals, and vitamins. The food should be chosen to provide protein, minerals, and vitamins in the amount suggested by the recommended dietary allowance for the appropriate age group. Energy should be provided by carbohydrate, lipids, and protein in the following proportional: from 60 to 70% from carbohydrates, 25 to 30% from lipids, and 12 to 15% from the proteins. People who exercise regularly need some vitamins such as thiamine, riboflavin, and niacin in slightly greater amounts than more sedentary people needs. People who exercise strenuously in warm, humid climates should be especially careful to consume sufficient water. Maintaining hydration during period of physical exertions is key to good performance. While drinking too much water during activities can lead to physical discomfort, dehydration hinders an athlete's ability. It is recommended that an athlete drink about 400-600 milliliters 2-3 hours before activity. During exercise, he or she should drink 150-350 milliliters every 15 to 20 minutes, and after exercise that he or she replace sweet lows by drinking 450 or 675 milliliters for every 5 kg body weight loss during activity. Constitution exercise for several hours can cause sufficient sodium losses to cause hyponatremia. This is a seriously and potentially fatal condition, but one that is readily preventable by consuming sufficient sodium-containing beverages. Consuming carbohydrate during exercise improves performance by providing additional supplies of energy. The three most beneficial components of any fluid consumed during exercise are water, electrolytes, and carbohydrate. Sources of energy for athletics pupils. All of the energy required by the body must be released from the metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, protein, or alcohol. Alcohol should not be used as a source of energy before or during exercise because it promotes dehydration, hampers coordination, and generally impairs performance. Muscles derive most of their energy from the metabolism of carbohydrate. Carbohydrates is provided initially by glucose already in the blood and then from glucose derived from the breakdown of glycogen in muscles and the liver. Many athletes use amino acid or protein supplements or both to try to increase muscle mass. This approach is described as a muscle building or bulking up, but increased muscle mass can only be achieved by long-term training, not by the use of dietary quick fix. Without a training program, extra dietary protein is converted to storage fat, with the additional nitrogen being excreted as urea. What about vitamin and mineral supplements for athletics? Also, athletes do have increased need for the nutrients involved in energy metabolism because of their increased energy needs. Most mixed and reasonable, well-chosen diets, especially the high-energy diets of physically active people, provide more than enough of all such nutrients. Studies on the effects of high doses of vitamin C or vitamin E found a beneficial effects on performance only in people who are deficient in these vitamins to begin with. There is a similar lack of evidence to suggest that large intakes of minerals can improve performance and considerable evidence that high mineral intakes can be harmful. The effect of iron and calcium supplements have received most attention. Iron supplements can be beneficial in people with evidence of any form of iron deficiency. Calcium supplements may be beneficial for the promotion of increased bone mass of amenorrhea women taking exercise, especially those suffering from anorexia nervosa. By now you should know that water probably has a greater effect on athletics performance than any other nutrients. Guidelines for the good nutrition of athletes are essentially the same as those for good nutrition in general. Consume a mixed diet with the appropriate proportion of carbohydrate, fats, and protein, and that supplies sufficient energy to maintain a healthy weight. Athletes should drink fluids containing carbohydrate and sometimes sodium before, during, and after competitions. Athletes have an increased need for energy to meet the energy cost of their activities. Their needs for many other nutrients, particularly those involved in energy metabolism, increases in proportions to their increased needs for energy. Athletes may have a greater need for protein than non-athletics. There are no advantages to consuming more than the recommended amount of proteins. Many products marketed as dietary aids for athletes cannot deliver the enhanced performance the advertising suggests. Key nutritional principles for all. Regardless of age or job, certain peculiarities remain universal for optimal health. First of all, hydration. Water is the primary driver for all metabolic process. Second, micronutrients diversity. Eating a rainbow of vegetable and some a broad spectrum of vitamins. And number three, moderation, limiting processed sugars and trans fats prevent inflammations. Thank you for your attention.